So good day, everybody. Welcome to the new year, 2024. So as promised, I said that I'll give our create a video talking about what I believe God has spoken to me this year and see if that applies over to you as well. So let's get into this. I'll just read the scriptures over to you. This is First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 20. Everybody should remain after God calls him in the station or condition of life in which the suburbs found him. This is 21, were you enslaved when you were called? Do not let that trouble you, but if you are able to gain your freedom, avail yourself of the opportunity. For he who was as a slave was summoned into union with the Lord, is a free man of the Lord, just so he who was free when he was called is a born servant of the Lord. You were bought at a price, purchased with the preciousness and paid by Christ. Then do not yield yourself up to become, in your own estimation, slaves to men, but consider yourselves slaves to Christ. So, brethren, in whatever station or state or condition of life each one was when it was called, then let him continue and close to God. So I hope I've actually read that very, very clearly. As you know, I basically may have not done so for some people, so I do apologize. I'll post the scriptures over on the video so you can read it. So I'll do a lot of hard work in doing these things. First Timothy chapter 6, it talks about us actually being submissive to our masters, which may actually entail our employers, our court rulers, our governments, and all these kind of things. Those kind of things are complicit in what God has actually said in First Timothy chapter 6 about how if anybody does not teach you the right orthodox way of how to be submissive to your leaders and to your masters, that person is conceited and actually has an unhealthy issue with the meaning of words. And that same person as well thinks that righteousness means a great opportunity to gain financial gain. And then he also said that what we have to be satisfied with is the food and clothes that we have every day from the Lord. And also it comes over to that and says that the rich should not put their hopes on uncertain riches, that they should, in all goodwill, do good to everybody with the finances that they have in their hands. And what I'm actually trying to say this is because I believe that God is bringing some of us into new stations of responsibility. God is the one who richly endued us with who richly blesses us with all things to enjoy. And God has also heard the frustrations that we've had with the station that we're in right now. The Bible scriptures actually just declares that the person who is a slave can avail himself to be set free as a slave to be God's free man. So this is where we're going through in this season. I normally say the word Ebenezer because back in First Samuel, the Israelites freed themselves from the bondage to the Philistines to some certain extent, and then David actually freed them up even more in bondage to the Philistines. And we also as well, we may be in bondage to a type of Philistine, which actually signifies the enemy, the devil and his people. We may be enslaved to them to a certain extent. When I was actually working at work, I understood how to be submissive to my employers and do what they tell me to do because I also saw me actually being a free man for the Lord in that job and also working there to actually better myself in the job so I could be promoted over to new stations. And so is that with you guys. You guys, if you've actually been diligent in taking your ground, you've not been living in fantasy, you've been focused on your job. God has new stations for you to actually take over and actually do exploits for the Lord in. We all want to do exploits in the world. There's so much opportunity for us to do exploits in the world, especially if we are of God. If we're of God, we have loads of exploitations to do. There's so many opportunities that some people would not even like to even do But because God has actually built us up to deal with these difficult things, He is putting us in those stations. And in those stations, we will find happiness, we will find joy in places where people are not able to find joy doing those jobs or doing those being in those stations as well. I also say that when you're looking at a station, you're also looking at everything that comes out of the church, all the wisdom that came out of the church that created our world today. We got airports and police stations, we got train stations, we got bus stations, and then we even got our car stations and garages, which actually signifies what's happening in our when we say we got bus ministry, that means we're carrying a lot of people with us and with the jobs that we do. Like we actually have this public space where people come in and there's a lot of traffic with many public people, and then we're sending them in the way to go and all that kind of stuff. And then we got the airport ministry, which is actually going over to international ministry and all those kind of things. And then we got the train ministry, which is actually a nationality kind of ministry. And then we got the car ministry, which is actually like a personal ministry that we have actually got from being self-employed and works. So listen to the interpretations of what your dreams may be. When you see these symbols actually being put in your dreams, each of these vehicles, which are actually just your ministerial duties, all have stations. Your car has a garage. Your airplane has a hangar. Your train too has a hangar, and your bus also has a place where they take you over to, and they take you to the bus station for it to be cleaned up and everything else. So those are the things that God actually has for us if we're able to meditate really, really struggle with this word concerning this prophetic word. So I will also be in line with this prophetic word because God has also promised me that He will send me away like He did Abraham to another place and He will guide my footsteps. But God wants to build up something inside of us, like a new world order. Now, we may say that New World Order may just be like a circular term, but God also has His own New World Order that's preparing to build for us. So, when we are actually done with this New World Order, God has a New World Order set for us to be able to build and to be able to make this land into a much more pleasant land as it was before. The Bible actually says that the end will come like a flood. So when we refer to the flood, refer to the flood of Noah that was actually used to purify the earth of all evil things working again. We're talking about desolation. We're talking about a place being burnt to fire. God is a consuming fire. He consumes everything that is not of Him, and He causes shakings to actually happen in our world. So always seeing that some people are passing away, and our world is passing away right now. The new world, the new successive world, is actually being open to be created by 2030. So we're edging closer over to new stations of where we can have a wider sphere of influence. And God has actually maybe doing this subtly because the world does not actually see this actually happening. We are coming through the back door. We're not coming through the front. We're coming at the last. And when we are last, we'll be first. So this is a very great plan that God actually has for all of us as we keep on moving up into better stations, into better places. I also have a timeline that God has actually given to me to also walk into ministry and be able to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, which I always desired to do. I always desired to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ to many, many people. So I hope you have actually understood the message I'm giving to you today. I also have a podcast, I have a blog where I write some stuff on. So I will put this in the links on the bio so you can also read as well if you want to be led in the mission that I want you to be walking in. So God bless you today. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.